Thought it was at half, but he said no. In Switzerland, it's like 25 o'clock. So good to know. Okay, well, thank you for coming to the session. I'm Christina. You can find me as Sekrina, and as on Drupal CMS, I'm the UX lead, but I've been helping on the product definition since the beginning, so I can give you also some insights on all the different things. Actually, this Drupal CMS lead is going to change because we are integrating another person on the UX side of things. That's going to be announced at DrupalCon with more details, but I'm going to move into product design lead, which means that we'll have two completely different people for the UX side of things, which is exciting and finally happening. So for this session, I'm going to try to give you some overview of the current state of Drupal CMS, what has happened, the key contribution, and I think some very good, interesting achievements, and also a roadmap and a strategic planning of what's ahead and what's coming next. The specific things that I'm going to go over, it's like the progress, what has happened, where we are, with challenges, and how we've gone there, and a little bit of an overview of the Drupal CMS and Experience Builder 1.0, and obviously how to get involved. So let's start with where Drupal CMS is nowadays. As you know, it was announced last May in DrupalCon Portland, and after 8 months, on the Drupal's birthday, Drupal CMS was launched, so just in January. And 8 months, it seems incredible, but it goes on. So this is, in general, that's the thing that if, from the whole session, if you take only one thing, this is the most important one for me, is that Drupal CMS has helped accelerate the innovation. And when I say innovation, I'm making an assumption or making the link between organization credits on strategic initiatives. That means the investment on directed and things that has been targeted as important for Drupal has increased a lot. You can see the difference between 2022, 2023, and then 2024, and that's only for the 7 months since May that it was announced until after that. So this huge increment from organizations mean that organizations are becoming more makers and not so much takers. It means that there is an investment, and for me, that's the main point for Drupal CMS. You have opinions about Drupal CMS. It's not perfect. We've done what we've could with 8 months, and we're going to evolve as much as we can in the future. But just that, I think it's incredible how has changed the Drupal community. I'm not sure if you've gone to other camps lately, but as someone that has been on the Drupal community for a long time, being to a Drupal camp and getting people excited, on contributing and doing new stuff, it had been a long time since I'd seen that. So that's a big deal. But focusing on Drupal CMS, so I think this is important, and to some of us, when we read no code, our head explodes, and it's like, hey, we are developers, how no code is going to be the future of Drupal. But the thing is that we need to think about who are we selling our websites. And this is also how we're going to place ourselves in the market in the future. So if we want to have a place in that future, we need to be really strategic, and we need to decide now where we are going to be in the future. So one of the most important things from Drupal CMS was the definition of the product strategy. And for doing that, we needed to define who we were going to target and which were the problems that we needed to fix, to solve, and to build solutions for. And I think that was like the most important, and apart from building a structure of people like helping out, deciding where we are going and pointing that direction was one of the big important things in here. And I'm going to walk a little bit through that, and then I'm going to go a little bit further into the product strategy, but I will try to explain you why we decided all this. So there was this initial research on where we wanted to go. This is like kind of a market segmentation, and Drupal so far has been aiming to enterprise, and I want to say projects, not companies. When I say project, it means that we're going to target projects that are expensive compared to a WordPress project, compared to another things. And that means that companies have money to invest on things that are custom, that are different from the rest of the things that they are there. But the thing is that we are aiming for these big projects. But are those big projects going to need so much money in the future? So I'm just leaving the question in there. The thing is that for Drupal CMS, we decided that we wanted to target this mid-market size between 100,000. That's lower than a lot of, or most of the big projects, or like a lot of the projects in Drupal are. And there is a specific reason for that, and there is a huge opportunity of growth in there. And it's probably not going to grow. It's not going to mean a big growth for the existing companies that have really a lot of expertise on Drupal, but it's going to be a big growth in terms of new players coming to Drupal, because there's going to be hopefully more work on all that new segment that we are targeting. And so that shouldn't be a thing that should trigger the alarms for the bigger companies or the experienced companies. It would mean we will have this all new, hopefully, set of newcomers, both clients and people building things, because it's going to be possible, cheaper, and easier. So we did a lot of benchmarking with competitors at the top where the ones that we're targeting the most. Wix, I really prefer Wix Studio in terms of features, but it's a mindset of like who is actually using these tools usually. And if you think about that, it's not like a big team of developers. It's a big team of people that is on content and on marketing. And who is deciding what to use is really important. But I don't want to step ahead. So we did some research on the people that is like important for the product itself. We have the buyer archetypes who decide what's the technology that is going to be used. We also had the strategies, the content strategies. They are like, I love to call them the influencers on the CMS wall, because they have a lot of opinions, obviously, but they also have a lot of influence in a lot of decision makers. Then we have the content editors, and then we have the builders. And we created, well, actually, this comes a lot from the team on Experience Builder that also did a lot of research and all that. And it was incredible, but as you can see here, that's a lot of user personas. And if we want to build something, we need to make it easier. So that's how we created the archetypes. And that makes it easier to say, okay, we're going to build this thing for this persona for that reason. So the marketers is usually, it's not the persona itself that we're going to build the things for, but we need to solve the needs of the marketer itself. The marketer is the one that is going to decide, we have this project because whatever company needs to do all these things. And the builder, or share hats means that it can be a junior developer, it can be a JavaScript developer, it can be a designer with some code skills. So all these people are like web developer, classic web developer, that is someone that is half marketing, half web, half code, that have all the hats on them. So we need to make sure that this builder is able to build a Drupal site without being a Drupal expert. And that's the thing that we're aiming for. To make it easy for someone that is this builder, solving the needs of the marketer, and obviously needs to be usable for the content editor that at the end is the person that mostly is going to fill the content inside Drupal. So that goes all, some of the research that happened there. There was a lot of other research, but if we go back to the product strategy, we have two strategic shifts here. The things that we want to empower the marketing professionals to build without developers and without a command line. When I say developers, I needed to make the sentence shorter. I'm mostly talking out about backend Drupal developers have a lot of expertise, and there needs to be a team of, so usually, let me go back. When we're talking about marketing professionals, we're not talking about people that has a degree on marketing. We're talking about people that works on the marketing team. And the marketing team, I'm not sure how aware you are all, but they usually have like the marketing leader or whatever, but then they have a lot of other people supporting them that has more technical skills. The designer, they also have developers or web developers, and all these people is the people that is actually going to help the marketing team itself do the things. And most of these people are not going to use a command line. So compulsory install Drupal, it's not the easy thing for them to do. And also, as I was saying, we also want to extend the Drupal presence in the mid-market, because we've always said, I'm not sure how do you introduce Drupal. I personally say it's like WordPress, but enterprise. And yeah, if we want to go to the mid-market, we need to start being able to explain what Drupal is easier without actually explaining first the competitor. So about the product strategy itself, talking about competitors, one of the different things that we want to do is make sure that we design the product for marketers. When we mean design the product for marketers, we mean that we're going to make designs fancy for marketers. It means that we're going to prioritize the features that the marketing team is going to need. Which are the things that they are going to need? If they want to launch a campaign, what are the things that they are looking A/B testing? Probably that's going to be prioritized with Drupal. But these kind of things that they are trying to do, like SEO, all these extra things that marketers care about, they should by default be in Drupal CMS. And that's one of the important things. Another important thing here, and again, I was trying to make the sentence shorter so it fits here, it's growth-oriented approach, meaning that we want to have a product that is really easy to install, like from 0 to 10 or 0 to 9. You have it installed with just few hours, few days maximum, but you have it like installed working. But then the big piece of the strategy here is that it's when you install Drupal CMS, it's not a completely different thing. You're installing Drupal. Then it means that from there, you can start customizing and building on top of that. So we want to have something that is easy to install, easy to try, easy to build into, and then easy to grow on top of that. And there is no session nowadays that doesn't have an AI word on it. So AI needs to be in there in the future. This is not an AI session, so I'm going to go over all the things that AI can do, but we definitely need to be up to date and keep up with things that are happening on the AI side of things. And something else is that we want to keep Drupal existing competitive advantages. And that's important because, as it has been said on different sessions, and we all know, is that Drupal has some stuff that most of our competitors don't have. Those are huge strengths, but they also make Drupal expensive. And that's the thing that we want to make it easy for people to start and then use those advantages to make their site even better. Something important on the strategy side of things also is that we're also working on a strategy for Drupal core. We do have the Drupal strategy, the Drupal CMS strategy, but we're also working on the Drupal the Drupal core itself, because it's important that we differentiate them. And it's being worked with core committers that is actually being named as core leads, because we want to make sure that we have UX people in there. And why do UX people have to be able to commit? So I might or might have not any influence on that, but UX, it's important. And also with our maintainers, there has been several discussions over months now. There has been, I think, 2 meetings so far with all the core maintainers, and we've tried to explain the proposal to the different maintainers and getting feedback. And we're trying to define this strategy for Drupal core. Basically, core is going to be more a support or a framework product, not product, more like a framework, and Drupal CMS is going to be more the product itself with like opinions on things. In terms of what Drupal CMS has meant so far, I'm actually putting here most of the stuff that I've personally seen, but I know that a lot of other stuff happen. And it's basically that we've been able with Drupal CMS to make a clear statement which are the priorities to make things faster. And it means that not only core committers are available to or are looking at the right things to commit. It's also that the contributors are actually helping out on the right things, and they're helping each other, meaning that we don't have issues that stay there for 3 months and nobody comes back to them. So I think that's been a really success over this last month. Something else is how we've organized so far. We've organized, so we defined different things that we thought we needed to have available for Drupal CMS. And we defined some tracks, and people proposed themselves for those tracks, and they worked together to define the problem itself. Sometimes we define the problem, but a lot of times people define the problem themselves. Like for privacy, for example, they go ahead and did all the research. For GPL, like for a lot of things, accessibility, the accessibility team, regular accessibility team itself from Drupal, they came together, they went together, and they organized themselves. They defined what needed to be there. And if you try Drupal CMS, there are really things that I didn't know that they existed, and it is a really, they came up with a really good solution. So basically, they came together, defined the thing, and made it available for the rest of us. So basically, I think it's another big important thing for our success for Drupal CMS is that on key areas, we had people that have been doing stuff on that area for years, and they've been able to, most of the time, not all of them, but most of the time, having people from different companies. It's not just one company that came up with a solution by themselves. I've done things like that. Most of the time, having people from different companies working together to come up with different solutions. And I just love this small detail. This is the installer. I'm not sure if you remember the classic Drupal installer. Well, it has had a few phases, but basically the fact that for now it's just an image on the right, but it's going to change in the future based on what you choose. On the left, the fact that it's like you're not arriving there, and the first thing you have to do is choose your language. It's like you have a lot of other things right now. So this is a friend from a designer from Lullabot. She came up with these designs, and I'm super happy with that. And that's what I actually use on the designs of the slides, because it's really cool. So not everything has been good, obviously, for Drupal CMS. And as much as it hurts me saying that, there have been really minimal improvements despite the dedicated force on the UX side of things. We didn't have that many experts, UX experts with Drupal experience, and we didn't have specialists that could actually have the whole picture and make a call about what was the nice thing. And also, the vision needs to be changing here. We need to build a team of UX specialists, not Drupal developers that care about UX. I mean UX people that have experience, that really know what the user wants. And if they don't know, they will know how to go to the user and ask for the right questions. So we need to make sure that the UX specialists are able to own parts of the product. We need a UX team, a real stable UX team to make all this happen. And something important is a unstable user testing group. And I just want to pause 1 second here. I had a whole session on at other places that it's like a whole session about user-centered design for Drupal CMS. And the main takeaway from there, and I want to say it out loud here, we're looking for people that has UX and design experience for Drupal CMS and for Drupal in general. That is something really important that we need to change on the Drupal community. And if you know someone that can provide some hours, sustain on time, because the problem is that sometimes there's, I have a designer available that has like 2 weeks available. In 2 weeks, you don't learn how Drupal works. You don't learn the admin interface. The important thing is that if you have someone that you could spare for, I don't know, half a day a week or something like that, that they learn at the beginning and they stay over time, that they can keep staying on the team and helping contribute, make Drupal better. That's super important. So I want to say it out loud here. If you know of someone or company that could support on that, just spread the word, because we need people. So something else that also happened is that it was, even though we kind of did our best, we were kind of focused on like defining the things. And people were like, okay, how can I actually help with Drupal CMS? Where can I go and help? And until we actually knew ourselves what was the roadmap and which was the strategy, we weren't able to communicate that to others. So there wasn't a clarity on the roadmap. There wasn't documentation also on where to start, because we didn't even know where to start on a lot of places. And contributors, especially, that's common on the Drupal sphere in general, but contributors with less time to contribute, we didn't have easy and actionable things for them to go and start and do things. So we basically were building a thing, and we weren't able to say to people, just go and build this small thing, because we were focused on defining the thing themselves. That has been an ongoing challenge, and we need to get better from that. And that's one of the things that we need to keep improving in the next months. So if you want to help on that, we're really looking for feedback. And that's a huge piece, is that Experience Builder wasn't available on January. We did try that. The initial idea was going to try to have a preview of Experience Builder, but it was impossible. We don't want to kill people working on Experience Builder now, so they can keep working on that. So basically, we had to release without Experience Builder. And you'll say, well, just use paragraphs or Lego Builder from now. We decided not to provide any of this tooling, because if we provide that by default, it means that we are saying this is the standard way of building Drupal from now on until we release Experience Builder. And then all the migration path and all the things. So we didn't want to go there. So we basically didn't provide any layout tooling for this. Okay, so coming back to January. It was an interesting sprint to get to DrupalCon Singapore when we actually released everything. We released, the first RC version, and in January we released. But then what are we going to do now? We have the first product and needs to be improved, but what's going to happen now? So before going and define everything, we wanted to go back and say, okay, which are the things that we need to actually improve? And one of the main things that we saw is that we need a better onboarding and getting started. And that could mean like engagements including a checklist API, meaning that maybe you start and these are all the things that you still need to set up on your site. or interactive tours. You start here and then you follow all these other things, or documentation. And the thing is that Drupal CMS actually comes with a lot of really cool things, but still it's Drupal. Drupal is really complicated. So you land in the dashboard, and then what? Drupal CMS comes with a dashboard, but you land in there, and then people says, no, what? What's the thing that it's what next step that I should do? Do I have content? Do I have to create the content? Where do I go to actually install more features? If I want to explore, if I want to start building, people don't really know where to keep up or where to continue. And I'm not sure if you saw a little bit of like the feedback that we're seeing, but that's one of that I think that summarizes completely. We were like so proud. Okay, we shipped something really cool, and people from the outside the island said, "What's that?" So we need to be happy for the things that we built, but at the same time, we need to be aware that we go out of the island and people is expecting, like, the expectations of people are completely different when they are outside the ball. And that's something that we need to be really aware. So those are the things that we need to improve. So one of the next steps, or the things where we're focused right now, is trying to improve the role of research in the product definition. We need to research the different areas that are more important, see what our competitors are doing, how they are solving things. At the same time, we need to use the product strategy to shape the roadmap and publish it publicly, because we're kind of like defining the next steps. We think that they are important, but at the same time, this is not published anywhere. So this is one of the big things that we need to do. So we provide people with the tools to decide where to build things. And obviously, empower community collaboration to drive the progress, because we can't be the only ones deciding what to do. We need to set goals. And Drupal has been an excellent place where people have actually been self-driven and they have decided where to go. So if there is a roadmap there, you can actually decide, I'm going to work on this thing because it's aligned with the rest of the things that the people is going to build. And that's something that we need to be focused on the next months also. As I was saying before, this UX transformation is important. We see more and more the fact that, like, people, when you go out there, the fact that we don't have a drag and drop interface, we don't have an interface that doesn't update. It's like that's a huge deal for a lot of people. They don't even understand that. So we would like to have a UX-driven development process. I'm not sure what that actually means in reality, with especially issues on Drupal.org where you can't even actually upload an image. So good luck with that. But some of the actionable things that we can actually do is sustain and promote the existing design group. We want to establish a UX testing group that has already started. So if you know people that they want to help, we're just starting right now. So again, if you know people that could help, please send them to us. We want to improve the tools for designers and researchers. As I was saying, Drupal.org it's not the best tool, so we really need to improve what to use, or at least hopefully eventually use GitHub for a lot of things, but it's out there. And something else is an easy onboarding set of tools or landing pages where people can actually see where to start. So, Experience Builder. If you want to actually go together and ship together this Experience Builder 1.0 together with Drupal CMS and make sure that we promote ourselves with the best thing that we had at that moment, and we have like the big marketing push when they are promoted, it means that we need to work together. So basically we're coordinating the roadmap, meaning that based on the things that Experience Builder is going to, the things that Experience Builder is going to include, we want to make sure that Drupal CMS supports that and provides that. For example, the design system, the new design system, for example, the new design system is going to work both on Drupal CMS. It's going to provide the theme that is going to be compatible with SDC, but at the same time, it's going to provide components that work also with Experience Builder. The admin navigation and the design system integration. The admin design system integration is really important because you enter, how many of you have actually tried Experience Builder? Okay, so when you enter Experience Builder, and I'm not going to give a lot of spoilers because Laurie's session is tomorrow, and your mind is going to blow up when you see the demos. But as you have an idea, when you go and click on Edit on Experience Builder page, you enter Edit mode. You enter Experience Builder mode, kind of. So you get out of like the Drupal interface as the way that you think about that right now. And we need to make sure that this change between Experience Builder mode and the rest of the admin interface is actually seamless. Obviously, like workspaces, features for content moderation is one of the big things that we need to integrate together and make sure that the complex editorial workflows are being provided also within Experience Builder. And more details that need to be found in the next months because there are so many people working on Experience Builder and so many open different things and features that we still don't know which ones are going to be there. So we need to define a bit more all that. But probably the takeout from this is that we need to work together as one product. And by the time that we get to September, we need to make sure that we market it together in the same way. And that's important for the whole community. So the goal is to release the two things, Drupal CMS 2.0 and Experience Builder, the first one on Q3. In theory, it was supposed to be the first month of Q3. Obviously, like the second month was a few days back, and maybe now it's the third month of Q3. It's still Q3, so that's the goal. So some of the other things, if we get out of Experience Builder itself, it's multilingual. And yeah, Drupal CMS was a multilingual because American. Because, wasn't the most important thing. So, oops. So, the first case, which should be just super easy, which is basically installing something in a language that is not English. That's not possible with Drupal CMS because of the installer. Basically, the thing that I was making fun of, oh, you start and you choose a language. Well, that was a technical reason of why that's in there. And now you can actually change the language because we remove that, and that case one is not something that we can do right now. We're aiming to fix that for Drupal Atlanta, so there's a team working on that. But then we have this case two. And case two means two different languages at least. But obviously, this is Drupal. You can do whatever you want. So are we talking about synchronous, I forgot what. Well, when you have exactly the same page in English and in Spanish, for example, and all the pages are synchronous. Somebody said today on a session. But you have exactly the same website in English and Spanish. But then another one is, what if you don't have exactly the same site structure? You don't have exactly the same pages. So basically, which one is Drupal CMS going to ship with? We need to make a call here. Who are we leaving behind? Are we going to give one option, two options? As I was saying before, we need to make a call here. Maybe we do provide two options, but we need to make it easy. The more options that we give, the more complex it's going to be for people to understand what they are choosing. So we need to do some research, user research. As I was saying, research is important, and test the things and then build the things, not just start building crazy with whatever we think it's the best thing. Something else are migrations enhancements, and from Layout Builder to Paragraphs Experience Builder, it's going to be important because if we want the community to go and start using Experience Builder and help improve Experience Builder, that's a big deal. But also Drupal to Drupal, all these Drupal 7 sites that are helping decrease the line when you see how many Drupal installations are there. What if we provide them a tool that just migrates Drupal 7 to Drupal CMS? Nobody has built that yet. Maybe because it's difficult, but anyway, that's all an ideal goal. And obviously WordPress to Drupal. And we're not going to get deep into the why on the WordPress drama, but that's an option. And that's one of the things that we're trying to focus on the next months also. And AI, as I was saying, AI, we need to make sure that AI beyond the generative content generation, like images, alt text, and all these things that we can think of quickly on that, we need to make sure that AI actually comes with UX improvements, make things easier. We need to provide agents like orchestration, and we have agents that are specialized on each of the things that they can do. For example, site building or content generation, or they work together. One is specializing some specific tasks and correct the other agent. So this orchestration is going to be really important. And obviously, any site building AI powered, imagine that you just go and type some text. This is the thing that we want. And it provides like first version of your site, and then you just go and edit some things. The thing from 0 to 10 that I was saying before, that actually can help a lot on building the website fast. So really related to that, going back a little bit on what's the product strategy for Drupal CMS, we want to make sure that we provide something that is faster to market, easy to ship, easy to build. You don't spend 2 weeks of a backend developer that I'm sure in Switzerland, the price of the hour of a backend developer is way more expensive than the one in Spain. But in general, not every freelance is going to be able to have this experience. So we need to make sure that almost everyone can build a Drupal site super fast. So we want to make sure that we provide something that is easy to ship, easy to build, and there's a lot of work to be done here. We need to make sure that we use our current strengths. We want to make sure that whatever you install from the first initial point, you are able to do all these other things, and we're able to provide all these things. And I think it's important, even though it's the last one on the right, it's really important the community on that side of the things, because that's what has actually been able to make Drupal what it is today. So basically, it would be great to build something that people want to use, and we don't have to say this is an enterprise WordPress, and people want to talk about. Because the thing is that I'm not sure if you've heard, not lately, but I've heard people saying to me, when I say to them, I work on Drupal, and they say, oh, is Drupal still a thing? The same as we say for Joomla. Some people say that about Drupal. So we want to make sure that people want to use Drupal and talk about that. And yeah, to finalize, where if you want to help out with any of these things, those are the main channels that you can join there. And obviously, feel free to DM me anytime. I will make sure that I put you in contact with the right people. And you want to help build anything, just let me know. Thank you.
So, who wants to ask the first question? Thanks for the talk. Rather than questions, 2 considerations on what was said. Okay, about the experience builder. I think that rather than to say no, we don't have nothing yet, you look at Drupal is not able to be built with nice layout experience, but we should still promote collaboration and highlight what is being already done, like we have seen today, Blockly, but there is also layout paragraphs. There are very cool modules that are being built by singular contributors, but also big web agencies. And so rather than to say, no, we don't have anything, maybe we could say there is this bunch of options that we will build upon to still promote collaboration rather than to invent something that, okay. And the other things, okay, you mentioned community as last point, but indeed, still for me, the community in Drupal is an outstanding add-on that we really don't care to compare with the others' products, because in terms of functionalities, we can still challenge, but I still think that Drupal community is unique, and everybody should be really welcome, especially as a single contributor. At the moment, is not really the case, in my opinion, because the crediting system doesn't work. Nobody is really encouraged to and aware that everything is done and focused on the same platform on Drupal.org. You can be credited, you can be mentioned what you did and whatever. For instance, I am a Geofield official maintainer since 10 years. I've done thousands of commits, and now these modules are part of Drupal CMS, and I'm very honored. But I feel a lot of responsibility and don't really feel part of anything official, because I'm not part of any big web agency. I mean, this Drupal CMS look more to me a party for big web agencies that are big players in this universe, rather than crediting all the singular contributors that made it maybe in spare time free. That should be encouraged and much welcome, because we are looking for young developers, and we should make them come in by themselves. We shouldn't necessarily big web agencies in this. My conception.
Okay, comments to the comments. No, that's perfect. Nobody asked anything, so that's very you're filling the time. So first, the community is important. I 200% agree on that. It's different from other products, and 300% agree on that. The thing is that who is actually making the decision on what to build? Do they care about that? A lot of times we tell to ourselves, open source is a perk. But I have some people outside the Drupal community have said to me, is that reliable to rely on a group of people that, I don't know, maybe there's a guy that suddenly changes the restrictions to contribute modules, or like cuts the availability for a company to provide the bigger module that they provide or plugin that they provide to WordPress. Is really open source a perk? We need to, I do think so. I'm not questioning that. The thing is that we need to make sure that this is a reality for the people that is actually making the call on what to build. What to build and where to put their money. I think that's a big portion of that. Then about promoting the other solutions, I think there are two important things here. First is that I'm here promoting like Drupal CMS. They are not part of Drupal CMS. I'm not saying that they're not amazing. Like we've just had the session this morning about this really nice tool to build on top of paragraphs. So I'm not saying they are not amazing. Like most of them and all the different solutions, and a few of them even more, like they are mind-blowing. And the fact that companies have built that and put so much money in that, that's amazing. So I don't want to like disregard that. What I'm talking about promoting things more is about, so in September, when Experience Builder Drupal CMS are going to be released, there's going to be a huge marketing push. The plan is already to promote Drupal, and several people, I'm not sure if you know, the Drupal Association has hired two product marketing people, and they are coming up with this marketing plan that is going to be released in September with all of that. So by then, the things that are going to be promoted outside the Drupal community, that's the key. I'm not saying within the Drupal community promoting all the rest of the things. I think they should be promoted. But the moment that you go outside the Drupal community, that's the thing where we need to all go together, and where the efforts are actually being focused right now, because we don't have also that many marketers, are being put on go together and promote Experience Builder and Drupal CMS. And it's going to try to be like a big push. So we have a lot of people talking about this, and that's a goal. And yeah, the credit system, I'm going to comment about that. The Drupal Association, I also have opinions, so.
Thanks for your talk. You had the slide with the multilingual, and that seems to be a bit not a number one priority, especially as we are in Switzerland. Multilingual is really important for us.
Yeah.
How do you see
Catalan,
the roadmap? Are we able to make progress there as well, or how soon do you see it? Can it become a reality?
If I control the money and where the investment is probably that good and be here, that probably would be part of the success that happened on the first release. But yeah, so yeah, the investment so far has been on. So in here, the people that is actually doing that is mainly people from, it's basically people from Europe. I'm not sure if you know Pedro Cambra, Jose Reyero, they are actually working on that. Gabor, they are all working on that. We are working on defining all this. We're going to try to define this, and we're doing that because like we push for that. And Cambrico, the company said, I'm just going to put Jose Reyero for some time. They are also putting like a UX person and front-end person like working on that. So that's happening because there's been people saying, I want to make that happen. That's how actually happened that. And we do think that's important. But that's Drupal CMS. About Experience Builder, you can ask that to Lauri, but of course, I think there's so many technical difficulties. I think they are building, whatever they're building, it's going to be compatible, and they're making sure that everything is going to be available in the future to be translated. I'm not sure if first release is going to have, because they have to prioritize things. So different priorities in the US because, yeah.
Maybe just to add to that, the problem is right now there is no multilingual backlit in Drupal CMS. There is also no multilingual maintainer in Drupal core. So it is important for us, but as long as these positions are not filled, not much will happen in this.
If anyone, I totally forgot to say that. If anyone wants to get involved in anything here, just let me know. If you want to help on the multilingual efforts, just let me know. I will add you to the efforts. We are just defining the things. I saw this morning that they created a meta issue to start working on that. So if anyone wants to get involved, just let me know. I will put you in contact. It's just that it's not opening on, the discussions are not happening on the Drupal CMS channel because, well, this is not going to be politically correct, but the thing is that if you post a thread in there, you're going to have like 20 people jumping in with opinions and not actually helping on solving the things. So we're trying to have like the discussions initially and then open, well, the meta issue has been opened. And this morning, that's why I don't have it in here. So the goal is like to try to make sure that whatever we're defining, the rest of the community it agrees on that. So it's just, we're trying to come up with a proposal, test the proposal, and then build the thing. So anybody welcome. So for sure, if anyone wants to get involved, help is welcome.
All right. Then we're wrapping up. Thank you, Christian. And we can continue the conversation. I'm sure there will be other questions coming. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.